Ravens Wrap is sponsored by Bud Light, jctickets.net, Geico Insurance, Dunaway Furniture, Ocean City Golf Club, RussellStreetReport.com, Comfort Inn Gold Coast, Holiday Inn Express, BuyAToyota.com, your official site for Toyota deals. The original Green Turtle, hosted by the Blue Ox Bar and Grill.
And welcome back in. It is the original Green Turtles Ravens Wrap Show right here on Comcast Speech TV. And now this season also on 47 ABC, WMDT, and on the radio, Delmarva's Rock Radio, and the strongest signal Ravens affiliate on the peninsula, 93.5 The Beach. Our show airs Thursday through Sundays at various times on Comcast Speech TV, on 47 ABC, Saturday night, 7:30, right before the college game of the week, Sundays at noon, and on the radio, 11 o'clock on Sunday mornings. Now, we are going to be off next week for the bye week, again, just to make an announcement on that, and then we'll be back the following week. We're giving away Ravens tickets tonight. We still have more chances for you to win Ravens tickets as the season progresses. The next giveaway, November the 19th, for the game on the 30th at home against the San Diego Chargers. So we want folks all across the peninsula, whether you're watching on TV or listening on the radio, we want you to come down, check out the Ravens Room, food and drink specials, hang out with Ravens Roost 44, and enjoy the show. Give yourself a chance to win Ravens tickets, Bud Light prize packages, hotel stays as well. With the holidays around, spend a nice weekend in Ocean City and get some holiday shopping done. Don't forget, again, 1 o'clock, the Ravens hosting the Tennessee Titans, M&T Bank Stadium, pregame at 12:30 on 93.5 The Beach. On stage, well, our guest will, of course, I'm Mike Bradley from 105.7 The Fan in Baltimore, locally on 92.7 WGNB mornings 5 to 9. Bobby Vermillion, the Endless Golf Guide, and various golf shows in the Mid-Atlantic. Welcome back, sir.
Good to be back, Michael.
And former All-Pro, Baltimore Colt safety.
He's still an All-Pro.
He's still an All-Pro, that's right. Right here, our All-Pro safety for 14 years. How about that? Bruce Laird.
70s were very, very good to me. Had more hair.
Well, guys, more to get to in our final segment, recapping, unfortunately, the loss 43-23 to the Steelers. And I don't want to be all doom and gloom. We know we have issues in the secondary. And again, this week, made some changes. Shockey Brown is gone. Dominic Franks is gone. Danny Gorer, who played for the team, I believe, back in 11 or 12, who actually I thought did a pretty good job of the nickel package, is back with the team. We'll see what kind of difference he makes filling in. We're still going to need Lardarius Webb to step up. We'll certainly need Gorer to play well and others in that secondary, and we'll see if Terrence Brooks, the safety, is back. He was a healthy scratch last week, but he was a part of that 53-yard completion of Mohamed Sanu in the Cincinnati game that really hurt us, as that was led to the winning score, that is. But let's talk about the beginning of the game, though, guys. The defense played very well, and frankly, if you were to tell me that LeGarrette Blount would be held to 10 carries for 23 yards on the ground and Le'Veon Bell 10 for 20, I would have said we have a pretty good shot to win this game. And the Ravens get on the board first with the touchdown pass to Torrey Smith. So, Bruce, we can talk about how disappointed we are in this loss in a division game coming off the Cincinnati game, but yet, at least initially, they very much did come to play.
Absolutely, and they tried desperately to take the crowd out of the football game. You know, you're on the road, Sunday Night Football, they go 3 and out. Pittsburgh, 3 and out 3 straight times. You're doing what you need to do. You're not letting them control 1st and 10. You're controlling the running game. But turnovers. You cannot turn the ball over on the road. The big momentum change. And then you have Big Ben, who actually now believes he can do the things that he was doing in the past. He's extending plays. He's making those plays. The young receivers, as we talked about, Mike, those young guys getting these opportunities, making plays. It just ballooned on them, and it became a little bit of a rout. But we're going to regroup. We have a home game against the Tennessee Titans. Again, Ken Wisenhut, a guy that we've known here, a coach that was been with the Baltimore Ravens, a good football mind, head coach of the Arizona Cardinals
Took him to the
at
Super Bowl.
times. And then, so you're going to see that. And it's going to be interesting, a combination of what happens. Ravens got to regroup, got to come home to the bank and make a statement.
Well, no matter what sport it is, momentum plays a big factor. And as that game unfolded, certainly we could see the momentum switching. You know, you saw the Ravens come out, they played well, and I'm watching the game and I'm saying, you know what, we're moving the ball, but we're not getting enough points. We had 7 points on the board. Yeah. And then it happens. We're driving the ball, the turnover, the fumble. We come right back, and then the interception. So we turn the ball over on the road twice. And as one of our
good field position.
In good field position. Yeah. And as one of our fans alluded to earlier, the game just changed. It completely changed. You could see that gave Pittsburgh, the fans, and the team a different atmosphere there. It was a different team that came out from the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the game never was the same since after the second turnover.
Right. Well, and this has been a reoccurring theme for the Ravens, not just last year in that 8-8 year. I've seen it before in a couple of years before that. But the Ravens score. And what do I always say? Some of the most important defensive stands in a game are right after the offense scores. And what happens early on with the Ravens, okay, they score first, but 7-0, but then Pittsburgh goes up 14-7, a couple of touchdowns off turnovers, as we talked about, which is key. But then the Ravens kick a field goal, it's 14-10. But then what happens? The Steelers score a touchdown, so then it's 22-10 at halftime. Later on in the game, Jacoby Jones, and we haven't talked about this, but good to see him, 108-yard kickoff return. At least his head's still in the game on special teams, 29-17. Okay, you still have a fighter's chance down by 12 points. What happens? The Steelers come back, score another touchdown. Guys, you just can't have that happen.
We've talked about it the last couple of years. We see that. When we need the defense to make a stop in a big game against a good team, a division opponent, they can't come up and make the stop, and that's happened a couple times. Obviously, twice in the two Cincinnati games, and then also this week against the Steelers, two teams that we desperately needed to beat.
Gentlemen, isn't it interesting after success in the National Football League in the new era, I would say from 2000 on, the new era, Super Bowl champs just 2 years ago. Since then, 8-8 and now 5-4. We're 13-12 since we won the Super Bowl. You see Seattle going through some issues. You see some of these teams. It's just an interesting paradigm when you look at this league involved in so many turnovers. So many changes year in, year out. You're seeing 33% of your rosters turn over. Some teams in the last 3 or 4 years, like Kansas City 3 years ago, a 50% change in your personnel. And you're watching this new league try and go through, I call it the success factor.
And at least the Ravens didn't have any controversy in the beginning of the season either.
Oh,
that didn't help either.
No, right. You have that situation playing out, and you see all these things. But I think the modern league is having more trouble, coaching-wise, organization-wise, handling success than they are handling adversity, which has never really been the case that I've noticed in the last 35 years I've been doing this.
Well, my dad called me last night. I was on my way to do election coverage, and he called me last night and was very negative about the Ravens. I said, Dad, look, obviously we have secondary issues, but I also said, you can't expect the Ravens, after a 5-year run that they had, you can't expect them in a league of parity to have continued the kind of role that they went on. I said some of this is just going to happen by the percentages, by the way the league is set up. The fact, though, that last year, despite a horrible 8-8 season, they were a half away from going to the playoffs. The fact this year that, yes, they're 5-4, you could argue they probably should be 6-3. There's still a lot of life to be had and room to get better. So, yeah, we have issues, but I'm not so gloom and doom about it. I realize the league is what it is. Yeah.
And I agree, and I would say this, the perfect recipe is coming this week. We have a rookie quarterback. So let's get right. Let's beat Tennessee before the bye, go into the bye, get healthy, get Jimmy Smith back. You know, the schedule's a little bit easier. The last 4 out of 7 are at home. So we play much better at home. That's obvious. So we've got a chance. Nobody's throwing in the towel right now, just like we talked about a couple weeks ago. Don't get too high on the wins. Don't get too low on the losses. Albeit it's been 2 tough losses 2 weeks in a row, but the season's far from over.
Bruce, I want to talk about the offense coming up, but the one thing I did want to point out, we don't have to hark on it too much, but the amount of penalties in the game, and obviously it's too much. It got out of control. Look, I know it's Ravens Steelers. That's great, but you can still have a rough and tumble game, rival opponent, but you don't need those penalties. And frankly, at times, Baltimore does live up to the reputation of being a thug team. I'm quite honestly, I'm sick and tired of seeing that kind of crap on the field.
And you have to understand something. When you get hit first and you're out there and the commotion starts, the referee didn't see the first whack. You know that as a player. So when you retaliate, it's going to be on you. And first and foremost, you know it's going to be an aggressive football game. It's controlled violence. Keep it within yourself. Do it when the whistle's going. When the whistle blows, you got to get off. You make your comments or whatever they do nowadays, and then you play football. That's what I was talking about earlier in the program. Both football teams knew that this was going to be a mano-a-mano violent game. I have to beat the guy in front of me more than he beats me in order to win this. And it's got to happen up front. And unfortunately for the Ravens, Dick LeBeau's Steelers, and the old man,
James Harrison looked like he was 23.
36 years old,
Yeah.
came off a couch with a Coke and a smoke and an SK, came off the couch and just went crazy.
Yeah.
And our 6 players, because we kept the back there, our 6 offensive players couldn't block 5 guys. And Dick LeBeau set his whole theme up, I'm sending 5, most of the time, block me, and I'm going to cover with 5 or 6 in the back, and we weren't able to do it.
And Bruce, you said it earlier too. You said big players step up in big games.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there you see the Steelers have been really struggling most of the year on the defensive side of the ball with having no playmakers. Here comes James Harrison in a big game against the Ravens, and he shows up, and he's the best player on the defensive side of the ball for the Steelers. No question.
What, 36 years of age?
Amazing.
I mean, Eugene Moreau and Kelechi Assembly clearly had extremely poor games, but with
Zuda was
Zuda had issues
him.
too.
Throw him right in there too, because they attacked that gut, which is the 2 guards in the center. We call it gut in the business. They attacked it, and people have been attacking it all year long. And let me tell you, Ken Wisenhut and his coordinators, they're going to look at the film. It's a copycat league. They're going to send it in again. Wait till you see Tennessee.
Yeah,
They're sending 5 and 6 on every passing down.
We'll talk about that coming up, and we'll get into the offense, and then we could dovetail the offense into the game against Tennessee, because they do get after the quarterback quite a bit.
Yeah, they do.
I would just say I would have loved to have seen the energy expend and all the fighting that the Ravens did by the secondary actually covering somebody and actually getting a pass rush on Ben Roethlisberger. But that didn't happen.
No.
So we'll see. Hopefully that gets cleaned up, because the Ravens have been, to their credit, an excellent team with lack of penalties this year. The Steelers actually have had a lot of issues with penalties this year, but clearly for the Ravens, when you get 10 for some 100 yards, it's unacceptable. It's ridiculous. But we move on next week to Tennessee. More of the Ravens Wrap Show to come. Comcast Beach TV, ABC 47 at 93.5 The Beach. Keep it here. We're back.
In April 1959, Art Wall won the Masters, edging out Carey Middlecoff and Arnold Palmer by finishing birdie, 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 par birdie. 1 month later, Ocean City Golf Club celebrated the opening of their first 18 holes. That course has been transformed now into one of the most scenic golf layouts on the East Coast. Come experience 36 of the most beautiful and challenging holes you'll find anywhere. Ocean City Golf Club in Ocean City, Maryland.
Come see us at Blue Ox.
Welcome to the Comfort Inn Gold Coast. Conveniently located just 1 block from the beach and adjacent to shopping at the Gold Coast Mall and the movie theater. Newly renovated and open year-round with a marvelous bayfront view. Visit us on the web at comfortgoldcoast.com and see our hot deals and great golf packages, or simply call our direct reservation line to plan your stay.